I got up one morning and went to the bathroom. I must have fainted because when I woke up, I was lying on the floor in my own blood. At the hospital, they told me I was pregnant, but that there was no longer a baby inside me. I didn't even know I was pregnant. They accused me of murdering a defenseless unborn child. It wasn't a miscarriage, they said, and I was arrested in hospital. The judge wasn't interested in my state of health. All he said was that first I would be going to jail for 6 months while they investigated the case.
Those 6 months turned into 12. Only then did a civil rights organization manage to get Delmi Ordóñez released, thanks to an attorney who proved her innocence. Conservative El Salvador has some of the toughest anti-abortion laws in the world. Miscarriages can mean being remanded in custody, in many cases followed by draconian sentences. 30 or 40 years in prison are the norm rather than the exception. 17 women are currently serving such jail terms. We managed to get permission to speak to 3 of them. We were accompanied by Daniela Ramos, an attorney from a women's rights group. As cameras are not allowed inside jail, our report is based on what we witnessed. And what we witnessed was horrendous. This women's prison was built for 700 inmates, but is reported to actually house 2,700 women. Guadalupe Vasquez was jailed 8 years ago. Her cell is half the size of a tennis court, a cell she shares with 216 other inmates with one toilet between them. In 2007, she suffered a miscarriage. 9 months into term, she almost bled to death and was then reported to the police by the doctor who saved her. She was given a 30-year sentence. Attorney Daniela Ramos is appalled at the rank misogyny in the justice system.
We've received the good news that the Superior Court has permitted an appeal for pardon for Guadalupe to be voted on in the National Assembly. That's a major step, and we hope the politicians use this chance to give Guadalupe back her freedom.
The women jailed on such grounds are all poor and uneducated. Most, like Guadalupe, are from rural communities. We go to see her mother in a village that is only accessible by foot. The attorney informs her of the upcoming appeal. If Hilda does not seem overjoyed, it's because after 8 years of seeing her daughter languishing in jail, she simply has no energy left.
All I know is that my daughter is innocent. If she'd done anything bad, I would have been able to tell.
Hilda Vasquez is 43 and has 3 other children and 5 grandchildren. They all miss Guadalupe. Plus, the few dollars she used to earn were vital to the family. Hilda rarely visits Guadalupe in jail as she can't afford the $2 ticket for the bus trip. We took her with us to the capital, San Salvador, so that she could be present for the pardon hearing. The country's political parties are currently campaigning for the elections in March, a time when politicians are eager to be seen as humane. No petition for pardon has ever been turned down here before, although none has ever centered on a woman jailed on charges of murdering an unborn child. A small group of protesters are doing their campaigning too, outside Parliament, for Guadalupe. Hilda is touched to see strangers fighting for her daughter.
It's so unfair what they've done to her. 30 years. It's unacceptable for her to have to stay in jail, to serve this sentence for something she never did.
Today, Parliament hears 9 appeals for clemency. One man stole a boat, another sold drugs to children. All of them are swiftly granted clemency. As Hilda Vasquez watches on, her daughter is last up. But instead of immediately voting on a pardon, a debate ensues. Some parliamentarians are determined to prevent the abortion laws being compromised by a positive vote.
A fetus is not some object. In the eyes of the law, it's a human being. This child would have lived. The mother denied it medical treatment. That's her problem. We cannot, under any circumstances, support this appeal.
Even after having their say, some politicians continue to try to influence their colleagues' decision on this most contentious of issues. The yes vote climbs promisingly, only to stop at 42, one shy of the majority Guadalupe needs. One vote that denied Guadalupe her freedom. All Hilda has to cling to is her faith. Our attorney escort has a more direct message.
Our entire society is guilty, all a bunch of machos. We're conditioned to behave like this in schools and at work.
Delmi, from the start of our report, was released from jail after a year. But her life is no longer the same. Society treats her like a pariah. In her case, even her family and life partner disowned her. No one will give her a job. Her only hope is change from the top, the government.